Okay, that's interesting. So, coastal Georgia is changing. New neighborhoods are being built, major developments are being proposed, data centers are expanding in our direction, which is not cool, and technology is changing the way that government operates. With every new project and every new policy comes an important question: who gets to decide what our future looks like? Tonight, we're sitting down with Georgia State Senate candidate Corey Foreman for a conversation about responsible growth, data centers, government transparency, privacy, leadership, and issues shaping the future of coastal Georgia. Whether you've already decided who you're voting for or you're still listening and learning, which we appreciate, our goal here is simple. We're here to ask the questions people are already talking about, hear directly from the people asking for your vote. So, and give you the information you need to make an informed decision for yourself. So, grab your favorite drink, join us in the live chat, and let's get into it.
Welcome back to this episode of The Bark Sip. My name is Patrick Don from eXp Realty, part of the Johnson Group, and I'm joined by my co-host, Brandon Giebler. And buddy, I am super excited about our guest coming on, Corey Foreman. Met him at the protest, I guess, that you just saw. And that was from the OpenAI open house that they were having. If you weren't aware, there was a big protest when they came through. So that was just a taste of it. But of course, if you're looking to buy or sell a home, you're looking for a real estate advisor or anything like that, hit the codes right there. They're right down below. If you want to contact me and contact Brandon, that's the best way to do it. And of course, Brandon, having Corey is awesome, but also with our local spotlight tonight. Who we got on for the local spotlight?
Oh my gosh, we have an extra special, near and dear to my soul. Jenna with Hot Works Richmond Hill, which I'm super excited to talk about. So let's go ahead and bring Jenna on. Hi, Jenna.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Jenna. Welcome to the show. I appreciate you coming.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Jenna, and I'm from Hot Works Richmond Hill. We're really excited to be part of such an amazing community, and I appreciate the opportunity to share what makes Hot Works unique.
All right, excellent. Well, great. Well, Brandon, start the clock and let's get this thing started. So, Jenna, tell us all about Hot Works and what it's all about.
Okay, so Hot Works is a 24-hour infrared fitness studio that combines exercise with infrared heat to create a workout experience that's both efficient and convenient. We offer a variety of virtual instructed workouts inside our heated infrared saunas. So you're actually working out in the sauna. Some people get confused by that, but our members can choose from 15-minute high-intensity interval training sessions or 30-minute isometric workouts that are like our quote-unquote mat classes. So we have hot yoga, Pilates, bars, stretching, core bands, and many more. The biggest thing that sets us apart is that we're designed for busy people, whether you work early mornings, late nights, or have packed family schedule. You can come in whenever it fits your lifestyle.
So who would you say Hot Works is for?
A lot of people assume that you already have to be in shape before joining a gym, but that's not really the case. We have members of all ages, fitness levels. Some people are just beginning their fitness journey, while others are experienced athletes looking for recovery or something to complement their existing routine. Whether your goal is to lose weight, improve flexibility, build consistency, and increase strength, or simply just feel healthier in your body overall, we can find you a workout that fits your goals.
Cool. All right. So what is the infrared all about? Like how does the infrared help you in your workout? Because that seems hot to me.
One of the questions we hear most often is actually why infrared. Unlike a traditional sauna, you're actively working out while surrounded by infrared heat. Many members tell us they feel more warmed up, more flexible during their workouts, and enjoy how they feel afterward. Everyone's experience is a little bit different. Many people are appreciated by the combination of exercise and heat because it helps them stay consistent and makes their workouts feel more productive because they come out 10 times more sweaty than a normal workout in a gym.
So why would you say Hot Works is more than just a gym?
What I love most about Hot Works is that it's more than just a place to exercise. It's a community. We love to celebrate our members' accomplishments, support one another, and genuinely just enjoy helping people become more healthier and more confident. Watching someone who was nervous on their first visit with us become someone who looks forward to coming in every week is incredibly rewarding with us.
Okay, well, so speaking of people first coming in, so what can you expect if you're coming into HotWorks for the first time?
If you've never been to a HotWorks before, don't be intimidated. We'll give you a tour of the studio, explain how everything works, answer any questions you may have, and help you choose the best workout based on your goals and comfort level. You don't have to figure everything out on your own. We'll talk you through it. So if you've ever been curious about joining a HotWorks or just seeing what it's about, I definitely encourage you to stop by and see the studio for yourself. We'd love to show you around, answer your questions, and help you discover whether it's the right fit for your lifestyle or not.
Okay, so personal question. What is your favorite workout?
If I had to pick my favorite workout, I would definitely choose hot Pilates because it strengthens my core and it's also just a full body workout. So it's kind of like a 2-for-1 deal. The nice thing is that we have enough variety for people to find their favorite workout and what they enjoy. Because when you enjoy your workouts, you're much more likely to stick with them, mostly if you bring a friend along as well to your free session.
So let me ask you this. I'm a lifter, so I like to lift weights.
I would definitely say for the Richmond Hill location, it's like a 40-60%, 40 being the men. We have a lot more men members than we thought we were going to have right off the bat just because of the marketing and everything like that. Everyone's kind of like, oh, like that's kind of our most popular question, to be honest. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, is this only a female gym or something like that? Like it's definitely not. We have our good ratio going on. We do have a huge group of cyclers that come in the morning. They all get their workout in and then they hit the road. So
The crazy thing is once you get out of the sauna and you're like, I'm dying, and then you go out in the heat here, it actually doesn't feel so terrible outside.
Yes, it makes you really productive, definitely.
It's really weird.
Well, Jen, I want to say thank you so much for talking about HotWorks. Do you want to throw a number out there for HotWorks, or is there how do they get involved in HotWorks?
So
Website or something?
Yeah, so if you just look up HotWorks Richmond Hill on like Google or Safari or whatever, it will pop up. Our number's down there. I want to say it's 912-910-8031. Double check me on that. But if it is, just call us, give us a call, let us know that maybe this interview brought you to us, or if you were just hearing about it on Google, and we'll definitely get you set up with a free session. You could bring a member or two along with you or a friend, and we'll definitely get you set up with a mat and towel and talk over your goals and everything like that. Just make you feel at home.
All right, fantastic. Well, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thank y'all so much.
Have a great evening. Oh, man. I mean, yeah, I just still have a hard time with it. The hotness and the lifting, like it doesn't seem to make sense to me. But I understand, like it's got its benefits. So
there's a lot of benefits.
So if you're not aware that there was the protest out there, you saw the video. But just want to talk about there's some very upset citizens out there. So let's play one of those for you here.
What do you want the citizens to do to kind of help bring awareness or to try to fight it back? Because I assume you're trying to stop it, right?
Yes. So I think that we all need to come together. I think that we all need to go get the documents of when this started and figure out how this happened and why it happened behind our backs and what was signed, who got money, how much money they got for this, Yancey Ford, Jamie DeLoach, the rest of them, and then go from there and see who we can get voted out and see what we can do, to legally stop this. Okay. But I know that the government's against us, so that's the only thing is the upper government is against us. But I mean, you got to look at the American Revolution. When the people come together and they stand together, it doesn't matter what color skin you are, where you come from, rich or poor. If you come together for a cause and you stand against the enemy, big things happen.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, she's starting a revolution by herself out there. She was very vocal. But that's what we needed. They needed to hear it. I mean, like they pulled this thing out of nowhere, right? We're going to talk about it. I don't want to get too fired up about it right now. But we want to hit the chat.
So I'm Corey Foreman. I live in North Bryan County right now, about 4 miles from the Hyundai plant. We've been here for a couple years now. Before that, we were over in Garden City. The military is what brought me down here. I was in the Army. I was stationed at Fort Stewart. So like many people in this area, it's the military that brought me to Georgia. I remember that I don't like the cold or the snow, but I also don't like sweating when I work out. So I don't know if I'm joining the gym anytime soon. The reason is it has to start there because Medicaid expansion, it ensures the estimates are anywhere from 300,000 to over 500,000 Georgians. So with that many people getting coverage, it assists with every other thing listed in this block of text. So Medicaid expansion, it brings more healthcare providers by bringing more money because you have more people insured, more people can actually pay to go to the doctor. You have rural hospitals closing due to lack of coverage. So the fastest solution and the easiest solution with the most results and studies, don't forget now, Medicaid expansion, 1 in 10 states that have not expanded Medicaid, okay? 40 states, 40 other states chose to expand Medicaid in the United States. Think about that.
Is it that many?
It is that many. The majority of the United States of America has Medicaid expansion. They fully expanded it. So why are we one of the ones that have not? And the studies, I mean, you talk about peer review and scientific studies or actual fact-based information, just do your research because it's everywhere. That solves so many problems. And trust me, we're going to talk about it more tonight.
All right, excellent. Good.
We have another one. Ask Corey if he's going to be at the Bryan County Commissioners pre-agenda meeting tomorrow. It's in South Bryan County at the county annex.
I should be there. Yes, I'll be there.
All right, cool.
He shows up to like all of them.
Yeah.
That's why it's so hard.
So Medicaid expansion is so important and does impact those other services. Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
All right, Corey. So we recently heard you speaking at the data center protest where you warned that Georgia does not have meaningful guardrails governing these projects. So let me play a video of what you kind of talked about here.
The largest thing for me is the state needs regulation, and without that regulation, this is just going to keep happening, and you're going to see it over and over again, and nobody's going to have no control. Oh, I'm going to fight very hard. This is one of those things that AI is only going to get more advanced. It's going to get used more. Data centers are going to keep trying to pop up. Even when they innovate, they change, things happen, but regardless, you're not going anywhere. Now we're in a position that without the regulation, everybody's unprotected. It affects the residents, and we're only courting business. The 12 consecutive years, Georgia's been #1 for business, but we're also #1 for incarceration. We're almost last in healthcare. We're number 38 for K-12 education. So all of these different things, we're still #1 for business. So I think it's about time that regulations are there to at least prohibit or protect residents, to at least bring our residents up to the same level as business.
All right. So what specific protections or regulations should the Georgia legislature put in place?
So it's a loaded question, and I'm going to try to keep us, not here all night. But let's jump to like the end of it, right? Because if you talk about the end first and go back to the beginning, if the data center is put in place right now without any guardrails, we see what happens. When I talk about Hyundai, I'm not talking about Hyundai, that Hyundai is just inevitably this bad thing. But a lot of the things that led to the bad things is what made this a very difficult project, right? So the data center, Hyundai, they're separate things, but they're both large industrial developments. And Hyundai, just to build out, it's not directly under Hyundai, but there were still 3 to 4 deaths just at the site, just during the construction. Okay, moving forward, Hyundai, this is why you can't push anything after the building's there. So if the data center's here, Hyundai had a fine from the EPD for $30,000 for water violations. Okay. First off, $30,000 for a $1 billion company. That's finding me $100 for speeding tickets. I mean, it's
$100. It's like a penny to them.
That's my point, right? Now, at the same time, because of the way the law is written, EPD they only fined them the $30,000, but they were supposed to be fined if they had the max fine over $7 million. But even then, that's still a drop in the bucket. But the point is, like, $30,000 that you might as well just not find them. Same thing with the data center. If the data center's there, and if you heard it in Effingham, they talk about we're gonna do a closed loop system. We're gonna fill it up one time. You probably won't have to fill it up again for 25 years.
Never again.
But how do you enforce that? Because what happens when they say, okay, well, shoot, we messed up, we're filling up again, and then 6 times later, and then 20 times later, and then you're sitting here, and it's the same thing. You give them a $30,000 fine, and here we are. More importantly, now we're going to back up to the beginning, right?
Okay.
Before we even get to the point of trying to enforce something at the end of it, you need to enforce it from the beginning, and you need to regulate from the beginning, right?
Corey, I'm totally down with you. That's what I've been trying to do.
Patrick, I'm telling you, I know you're passionate, man. I know it. Georgia has a problem, and it's called reaction versus being proactive. Okay. That is like the number one problem in Georgia. And it's for almost everything. Everything you come to, it's like, here's the situation. We're going to throw everything out there. We're not going to plan for it then. And then as soon as it's there, now we're going to try to rapid fire all these little temporary fixes and bills and try to piece things together. But at the end, it never works. Right. So what I would like to see, starting with the development authorities, right? One of the things in Georgia, these development authorities versus the government and the residents. Literally, we had over here in Bryan County, our development authority, they're trying to develop an airport, right? It was a joint, I won't go deep into it. Long story short, the development authority ended up killing and not just the development authority, Trip Addison, it's the finance guy on the board. He ended up chairing the airport authority for Bryan County. He made a comment saying to the county commission that what they decide on what they want, it has no teeth. This is an appointed member. He's not elected, telling the body that appointed him to that board that they have no teeth to stop what he's doing. Think about that. You sat here, you woke up one morning, you went to the poll, you voted somebody in office, and that person in office has no teeth to control the board that he appointed. I think that right there shows a legislation problem, right? So backing up, like the NDAs in the state of Georgia, if you look at, I see that, Brandon. I see that. By the way, I'm going to take a moment of privilege and say that my wife and I came up with this beautiful idea, and I love it. I love it. I got to collect myself again.
Gotta watch my face. I'm sorry.
I got to collect myself. All right. So
Brandon's been getting in trouble across the internet, so he had to come up with a solution.
Well, it's the faces, man. The faces now to get a solid face, like it's like, okay, this is the happy face, and we have to hold this because the other faces are uncontrollable. You know,
It sends the wrong message.
It's great. All right, NDAs in the state of Georgia compared to all the other states. Not every state's similar to Georgia, and the thing with all the development authorities in Georgia, they're not uniform. There's not a whole lot of state regulation that keeps them all equal. They all kind of operate independently, and you see it. Liberty County's not Effingham. Effingham's not Bryan. They all have little quirks and things that are different. The NDAs as a whole, it shouldn't be a blanket. You know what I'm saying? Like, it shouldn't be that, oh, every single thing and every piece of information you want to know is blanketed. North Carolina does decent at their NDAs. They have it. I mean, it's a very specific thing that you can put in it, right? So when you're talking proprietary information or trade secrets, like if you're trying to move a business here and you're trying to corner a market, I understand that. You know, that is economic development, and that does take planning. And no, you don't need to announce to the world that it's happening. But as soon as you get closer and you start talking any incentive packages or anything with tax abatements, the residents are the ones that should know that, because at the end of the day, that's their money that they're losing from their taxes that's not being paid by that corporation or that industry. Then moving forward past the NDAs, when it comes to those tax abatements, I want you to think about what happened in Effingham. Effingham County Commission, they didn't vote for the tax abatement. The development authority, the non-elected body, the appointed body, made the decision to give these tax abatements and incentives. Think about that. You literally go out and vote for an entire body of elected officials to represent you, and there was no public hearing because it's not required. There was no vote because the only vote had to happen in the authority. That shouldn't be allowed. And that's not to stop development authorities, because in a perfect world, if everything was good and it was transparent, they do have its benefit. Typically, they're supposed to be filled of other experts. Those experts sit there and they negotiate, and it's supposed to be in the residents' best interest, which currently, I mean, we can see it. It's not. Go ahead.
Hold on a second, though. Why can't we have a development authority? Okay, maybe you can explain this to me, because this is why we do this, because I don't know everything, so I'm trying to learn here. Maybe, Corey, you can enlighten me a little bit here. So why does that authority have the final say? Why don't we have a mechanism that brings it back to the people before it gets just through? What's stopping that mechanism, I guess?
So certain places throughout Georgia, like certain counties, Bryan County, for example, some of their tax abatements, it does have to go through the actual elected body, but there's nothing in state law that says that has to happen. So my big thing is, instead of everything in Georgia does not need to go all the way down to the county municipality, especially when it comes to large industrial developments that affect a region. Okay, I understand, and I don't want to take any power from the county or city, but at the same time, if your decision affects an entire region, that's a whole different conversation.
Absolutely.
The thing with the data center, I mean, think about this, right? And I think Pat Wilbur loves using the electric terms. Okay, so 3.2 gigawatts. Georgia's entire electrical grid is around 15 gigawatts. Mind you, that is one single data center. One. Okay. Now let's go to the other side of Georgia, towards Atlanta. There's QSI over there. That's already developed. That's a data center. How much does that use? We have another one being developed up towards Augusta. How much does that one use? So the one that we're proposing here, 3.2 of 15 gigawatts for an entire electric grid. Okay. I think, and think about the electric grid. Georgia Power and the Plant Vogtle, when I say they went over budget, man, if you overdraft your bank account $20, you get a fine. Okay. Georgia Power had the audacity not even to go over budget. They went over budget like $15 billion. It's almost double, billion with a B, double the amount of money that was projected for this power plant. And then we had like 6 rate increases over the last 10 years. And then look at your power. My power bill is like $470 this month. My house is like 1,100 square feet. It's not that special. Like
what?
This is not no mansion, okay? I mean, that's a contractor grade door back there, and I still got to change the hinges on it. They got to get painted, okay? This ain't special. So, with all of that being said, I think we have a transparency issue, we have a regulation issue, we have a planning issue, and all of these aren't some hardcore resource restraint issue. No, they're issues caused by policy. The policy's not there.
All right. Well, we got a ton of chats going on here, so we're gonna hit the chats real quick.
Guys, Corey, you talk too much.
I know I do. The politician in me. I think all the T-shirts about, like, the more I put my name places, like, I just keep talking more. It's like I don't know. It just comes with, like, I don't know.
It's kind of refreshing though. So we have this one. So how can you ensure healthy growth rather than this hot mess this district has been doing lately?
First and most important thing is, how do you hold your elected officials accountable? Number 1, run for office. Number 2, vote for the person that's not doing the same thing over and over. When I get elected this election cycle, okay, and if you don't like what Corey's doing, you need to vote Corey out. One of the things we preach is term limits, and that degree, like, I signed the term limit pledge, but then at the same time, why do we even have to do that? Like, you have elections, start voting, go and vote. Like, people will sit and we wait till it's too late. And, most of the meetings I go to, I'm like one of the only residents in these meetings. It's very rare that you have other people. And, Gay was on here. Gay goes, she's a resident. But at the same time, there's really not a whole lot of participation. So they can sneak stuff by you because nobody sees it. And then even when they sneak it by you, that comes around and they have nobody running against them. My opponent right now, I mean, he's barely been challenged the time he's been sitting there. He's had maybe one Republican primary and she had 40% of the vote. And then on the Democrat side, I think there's like 2 other people that ran against him in the last 10 years he's been there. So, like, the point is, if somebody is not up to the plate to swing the bat, like, we just do the same thing. It's never ending.
Wow. No, I mean, I tell you, I agree with you. I mean, someone's got to do it, right? All right. This next one, Uma's back.
Yeah.
I'm loving it. Hey, Uma, thank you for coming on.
I know, I got excited, but I didn't want to. So Uma asked, would you support a bill that would allow citizens to seek GBI investigations into elected government officials and government employees who are suspected of committing crimes to contact the GBI for either directly or through another agency investigations?
So I'm not going to misspeak on things I don't know, because I don't know the entire GBI process. But what I do know is most things, if you think the government's doing something wrong, the attorney general is supposed to be there to protect you as the resident. So I would always start with the attorney general and have them them seek whatever you need to be done. If there's an investigation and it has merit, that should be the attorney general that takes that over.
Yeah. We also have Jennifer. No, they don't. Our government sold us out. And then local politicians too. And we cannot have people who get voted in signing NDAs, so much to say and so little space to type. We know her phone is probably like on fire. I told her to use the laptop. She didn't listen. So we have this one. You have to go to all county and city meetings to keep the elected people in check. Question is the unelected people on these so-called authorities making decisions.
You read that one more time.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, I guess he's saying his question is, I guess, why are there unelected people in these so-called authorities making decisions? Why is the authority necessary?
I've asked so many questions about these authorities, and I mean, so let me put it like this, right? So there's nothing that makes you have to have a state legislative made authority, right? The biggest thing is, like, for example, when I mentioned the airport authority earlier, there's nothing stopping the city of Richmond Hill or Bryan County or any other place from making their own internal authority and not getting the state's approval. The biggest thing is when it comes down to the money and the bonding, you have more mechanisms with financing and the money part of it and the bonds with an authority. One of the things that I challenge everybody who's listening is, like, when you go to any of your meetings and if you hear somebody, like, if anything with the word authority, I would ask why they want the authority and why they need it. And I would always challenge them to make sure that you can't keep that authority inside the local government. There's a few drawbacks that you have with authorities when they're localized, but overall you have more control. The county commission or whatever appointed body made that authority, they have more control directly over them versus as soon as it hits the state. So for most of the development authorities or the airport authority, what happens is, which this is also a communication problem, because I feel like even something as simple as an authority, having that transparency with residents is important. But if I want to make an authority right now, I would go to my representative at the state level, House or Senate, and they would have to introduce legislation for that authority, right? So that's a state level thing. The governor signs off on it, and when that happens, that is it's a quasi thing between the state and the local government. So it's not as simple as just, oh, we're going to get rid of it, because to get rid of it, it's a state level action. The same way it got in there is the same way it got to come out. So these development authorities, I mean, they can have good. And if you talk about smaller developments, like Liberty County and their target distribution, like Liberty County is well below the median household income in Georgia. It's about $58,000, right? Around 76,000 is about the median household income in Georgia. So Liberty County is far below. And if you look at the surrounding area, even the unemployment rate is higher in Liberty County. So a place like Liberty County, you could use incentives to get some type of business there, and it could do good in the community, right? So those incentive packages, that distribution center, there's plenty of jobs there now. I mean, it is something that was beneficial for the community. But at the same time, like, not every job is a good job. You look at West Point with the nickel refining plant when that was coming here. Like, I mean, not every job is a good job. Just because it has jobs doesn't mean you need the jobs, okay? And then also think about the actual community. Like, where do you want to see the growth in 10, 15, 20, 50 years? Like, there should be some level of resident involvement when it comes to planning growth. You have, like, future use plans and all these other things, but everything changes. But, like, the residents being at the table, I mean, do you want Hyundai? I mean, Hyundai has its benefits, but is that something you wanted? Is that the type of growth you wanted? I mean, is there something else that you could bring or recruit? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think like you're saying, I mean, the participation, including myself, I'm just as guilty. I think I've said that 1,000 times. I didn't get involved. I just let somebody else do it. Right. So now I'm involved. So, you know what I'm saying? But be involved. I mean, I agree with you. Like, we can't just sit by, especially, I'm about to hit 50, I gotta be, I got to be involved in these policies that are happening. So that's what we're trying to do here is learn, be involved. We encourage everybody to be involved. Everybody here is already involved, as you can tell. So keep going to them meetings. All right. So next comment.
So we have Lindsay. I think she was trying to answer for the last one because Georgia is a preemption state. It is imperative the state sets regulations and laws in place to protect our state. However, we have politicians who bend the knee on the knee.
We'll be quick. You got to go back to the other comment I said. If you don't hold them accountable, this is what happens. They're non-touchable because we let them get to that point. So,
and
people are pissed now. So I think their days are numbered now because everybody's mad as fuck.
So we have Jennifer with yes, it's bad. The water use alone shouldn't have been allowed to happen. I am for future growth, but this is ridiculous. Okay, that was a typing correction, I'm assuming. And then everyone's laughing. Hi, Uma. Because my face, even my fake face, is hilarious. Thank you. So Georgia allows NDAs. We need to be like North Carolina government does not allow NDAs. We need to change the state laws.
I'm not going to talk about it too much, but y'all should definitely look up some of the things in North Carolina because it's interesting. Georgia is like the 8th largest GDP in the country, and their GDP is comparative to North Carolina. And I'm saying all this because, like, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. There's plenty of places to look at other policies and legislation. Like, I mean, you don't have to be a genius, just do your homework, you know. But when you look at it, so they recently expanded Medicaid not long ago, and they spend less money on their public education system, and they are still 10 points ahead of us in K through 12 education. They're like ranked 28. We're at 38. So
we have Uma right here. We need to stop the complete independence of local governance unless we can hold them accountable through a state agency. Facts.
All right, we're gonna move down a little bit because there is a boatload and catch just some of these. Okay.
Whichever one you. Okay. Not most laws. For example, gun laws and energy laws. We are a highly preemptive state. Yeah. Periodically, I show up to those things, not at Corey level, but fair.
They love seeing me.
He goes to all of them. He goes to all of them.
I try. It's a lot.
You can. The local authorities, city, county development authorities need oversight. No one knows how to do it. Do you know how to do it, Corey?
This is
it's state legislation, man. Like, you got to remember, so every city and county in the state of Georgia, the only reason it's a city and county is because of state legislation. If your city or your county wants to change what happens through its charter, where does that go? It goes to the state. If you live in a place right now that is unincorporated in any county in the state of Georgia, you want to incorporate that county, do you know who signs off on it? Go ahead, Brandon. The state. Come on, you would have got it though. Yeah, I know you would have got it.
Should have put the face app. It would have helped. All right, this one is very interesting. So I'm gonna play this one. Or put this one up for Brandon. Here you go. Here you go, Brandon.
Mm-hmm. I was laughing too. Okay, so in an email, Ben Watson, his email auto response said, "I probably won't get back to your email." Oh wow. What do you plan to do to ensure people you work for don't get this sort of shameful dismissal?
Whoa. So, number one, I have gotten that same email. Okay. I love your face, Brandon. It's beautiful. You know, the one thing, and especially when you're in the seat, you know, my opponent's campaign money, it's a lot of PAC. It's a lot of Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson, and the money's there. Okay. That campaign money could be used to extend his constituent services, but it's not. Okay. So there's ways, there's always a way. And I understand, like, him individually replying to every single email, it's unrealistic, right? But at the same time, where are the town halls and communication? I literally talked to, and I'm not going to say where, but within Liberty County, there is an elected official right now who I asked, do you know who your state senator is? Now, mind you, this is an elected official. That means if you need anything from the state level, you should for sure know who your state senator is, and they did not. That man has been there for 10 years. That is a problem. If the president doesn't know, I get it. You know, you don't know everybody. But an elected official, my jaw was on the floor.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
All right. So we talked a lot about data centers. So I'm going to skip the next data center question. We're going to move on to Flock. Okay. So you recently raised concerns about Flock cameras and the growing surveillance power of the government. Let me play that video. Let's see.
Talk about Flock.
Savannah Police Department employees are on administrative leave tonight, accused of misusing the city's flock camera system. SPD says the potential misuse was discovered during an internal audit of the system. Investigators say the 6 employees, 4 officers and 2 civilians, allegedly conducted searches that were not related to law enforcement, including searches involving personal acquaintances and family members. The department also says one officer allegedly provided someone from an outside law enforcement agency access to SPD's Flock system.
This isn't really about one company or one camera. It's about one question. How much surveillance power should the government have over law-abiding citizens? History has shown us that once government gains new surveillance powers, those powers rarely get smaller. Technology is moving faster than our laws. AI is advancing every day. But Georgia has never had a serious conversation about where we draw the line. I believe it's time to start that conversation here in Georgia now. Let's establish a clear statewide standard for government surveillance. Let's have an honest discussion about whether our state constitution should explicitly protect the privacy rights of Georgians in the age of AI. And if those constitutional protections are needed, the people of Georgia should have the opportunity to vote on them. This isn't about being against technology. It's about making sure technology never outpaces our constitutional rights. What do you think? Are these cameras one of the best crime-fighting tools we've ever created? Or have they crossed the line into government surveillance? I'm Corey Foreman, and I want to know, where do you think we should draw the line?
So where should Georgia draw the line between protecting public safety and protecting the privacy and constitutional rights of law-abiding citizens?
So we have a state government and we have a federal government, and both of those governments have a constitution. If our state government doesn't have something in the constitution that's not covered by the federal constitution, guess what? We can add it to our constitution, right? So constitutional rights don't stop just with your constitutional rights at a federal level. So all of this comes back to lack of regulation for technology, even with the data centers. I think right now we're in an age where the technology is outpacing the laws. So data center, I'm going to back up. You skipped out of the data center question, but I will say quickly that data centers, if they were regulated, right? And I'm not saying like completely unrealistic, like you just like unrealistic expectations, right? But if you said you only,
what is unrealistic, Corey? Because
like, I mean, just stacking on to the point that like no matter what, like there's no point. Like you can't put a shovel in the ground. And I know people want that, but hear me out, right? If you had regulation there, and if it was in place, and if it did things like limit like your water draw amount or your electric draw or certain things for noise, right? And if those aren't attainable right now, what has to happen? Innovation. Those companies have to spend the billions of dollars they have to innovate, to then grow their business. Okay. This is forcing innovation, because right now, if you tell them they can just come to the state of Georgia as it sits, guess what? They don't need to innovate because it's a business and they're in it for money. Why spend the money? So
exactly.
I think like it's not the fact of just saying no data center. It's the fact of somebody somewhere has to put that line in the stand. And I'm going to bring that line back to Flock cameras in a second. And if you do that, then you cause the conversation, you make and force innovation. If you want it, innovate. If not, you don't get it. It's simple.
Right.
Flock cameras, same thing, different story, right? So you look at things like, okay, right now in the police department, and nobody wants to make it harder to catch serious crimes, kidnapping, murder, whatever, right? But at that same time, you go to catch a murderer in wherever, or a stolen car, or wherever it may be. At the same time, you have all of my information. I'm not the murderer. I didn't steal a car. But yet you have data and data and data on me, the law-abiding citizen. Like that is where you have a problem. And then there's no federal regulation or some mutual state regulation for, the way you store the data now, that there's nothing there saying how long you store it or who has access.
They say 30 days is what they say.
But that's the point though. But who's regulating that? And it's going to a private company. So like, I've seen videos and some of the studies talking about how easy it is to hack into flock cameras. But then even without hacking them, your own law enforcement, think about this. Think about how ironic this is. Oh, they stopped crime. Yeah, well, tell that to the 6 officers that was just in the video, because that's a crime, right? So
right, and they're like wondering whether they're going to terminate them or not. Those guys need to be fired immediately.
The biggest thing is like, okay, it might stop a crime, but you're also creating other crimes. And then at what point? So like when tracking technologies came out for trackers or like triangulating phones, or you go back to the Patriot Act and people listening to your conversation, all of these things, it's not like they went away, but regulations there. And if somebody does it outside of that, like these things need warrants. If you want to go look at flock camera information, then you should have a warrant. It should go through the judicial process and get that. And if it's an emergency, It's like just like an emergency warrant, you go to the judge and say, hey, it's an emergency. And you prove to the judge, hey, this is why it's an emergency. Like, the point is, like, there is no regulation. I don't like the fact that it's a private company. I don't like the fact that the network, it grows and grows and it's national. So not only can you track John Doe in Georgia, when John Doe goes with his family to California, he's there. If you go to church or a political rally or wherever you go, somebody knows you went there. If these things exist at all, and I know some people just want to, cut them down to the stump and call it a day. But if this is one of those things like a data center, that if things like this are around, the regulation has to follow it. And it's not just the flock camera or the data center. I mean, there's so much.
What is next? Cameras in my house?
Say again.
Like, what's next? What's next? Cameras in my house? All my windows have to be open? Like, how far are we going to allow them to just surveil everybody? This is bullcrap.
Okay.
Well, this is not freedom.
Go ahead, Brandon.
Okay, so let's be specific real quick. So lots of words happening right now. So what specific changes to the Georgia's laws would you support to prevent surveillance technologies from being misused?
I would want to put something in the Constitution so your constitutional rights are between you and the government, right? And for those that don't know that's how that works. So when you go tell somebody that it's my constitutional right and you're talking to your coworker, not exactly, it's you and the government, right? Your right to free speech, religion, search and seizure, all of that is you and the government. Just so we can clarify that. That's an educational moment. With that being said, public spaces. I had a conversation with somebody earlier today, and they were talking about cameras being put at a pool, and people were worried about pedophiles or somebody seeing kids at the pool. In reality, if you're standing on a public street, your constitutional right protects it. That weirdo can stand out there and they can videotape, and you have to create privacy. It's a different conversation when you're talking about the government, right? The government, there's a limit. If an officer is driving with his, go ahead.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week, nonstop.
That's the part I'm getting to.
That's nonstop. It's not a guy standing on the street just filming something.
So that is
and
where
giving out tickets. You telling me they're just looking at the license plate? That's bullcrap. That's more than that.
No, you're right.
I'm charging you if you're peeping through my windows.
If you put some type of language in the Constitution that there is some duration, right? If you're recording for X amount of time, you're taking X amount of data or some language like that, right? Then at that point, that's when that constitutional amendment should kick in. That's when it should protect you, that you have a right, that you're not filmed by the government. And I think that's one of those things that, like, okay, let's balance it out, right? So Forsyth Park, I saw a video today, and I think they put, was it the Axion? It's just, I don't know if it's the same company as Flock or what, but they have cameras now all around Forsyth, right? And after the whole acid attack, like, first off, you already had flock cameras in the area, and for whatever reason, guess what? Those flock cameras didn't help that solve that crime, did it? Okay, so moving forward, adding
where's
more
the point again?
Yeah, adding more cameras, is that the answer? And then to what degree, and then what amount of data? So I think having something, and mind you, every single thing that you change in the Constitution goes back to the Georgia voters. So this is one of those things that, like, if you agree with it and you think that that law should be put into place, or that constitutional amendment should be made, then the Georgia voters would have that opportunity to decide. So I think putting some limits on the amount of data that these things can collect at a minimum, especially putting some type of limit on how long it can be stored. There is zero reason why they have to track Betty up the street on how many times she goes to the grocery store for 3 freaking consecutive years. That's like, why do you need that?
Dietary needs.
So yeah, they can. She bought a loaf of bread, and she needs to go easy on the salt.
Well, when you think about this, and I want to kind of put it in a scenario with the Savannah PD using the flock cameras for personal reasons or whatever the heck the reason was, right? How do we know that these guys are not stalking ex-girlfriends?
They have. There are literal cases where people have been arrested for that exact thing.
But that's what I'm saying. So, like, I mean, you're given these, and what are the rules? And the police have to
Wild West
search. That's what I'm saying. Like, you just get to do whatever you want. Like, and as someone said in the comments, they're putting cameras in the car where you're not even going to have control of your own car. They're going to be able to stop you in your car.
Well, even now, where was it? Ohio. The young girl that was I think it was in high school, and she ran the car into what was it, like a brick sign to the building or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? Anybody in the comments? Somebody in the comments knows what I'm talking about. But the amount of forensic data that comes from a vehicle is wild. Like, really? This thing tracks everything, man. Everything. Every little piece that turns on and off in that car. Like, if you got some car from the 1930s, then by all means, because I can tell you these new cars, every single thing that happens in that thing, oh man, it's all tracked. Everything.
Don't buy after 2025. We have some comments of your MB04058 said, "Hi Corey." Thought that was important. Jennifer said, "No damn data centers at all. We need to put the brakes on full, and Flock has its purpose, I guess, but the stalking of we the people is bad. And look at our own local cops and their power abuse," which is what we were just saying. Yes, and then yes.
Hold on, Brandon. What she said, I think, put that thing back up if you can real quick. I gotta get. Oh yeah. So data centers, I think there's a very big difference between just a data center and in the data centers we have now. And AI is the big thing that powers, because now you're going from a data center to these massive data centers. Because data centers, I mean, have been around forever. I mean, these things aren't even remotely close to new. I mean, we've already had them in Georgia. They're all through the country. I mean, we've had underwater submarine data centers. Like, they're everywhere. So I think everybody needs to make sure they're educated, though, on, like, you have a data center and then you have, like, these data centers. There is a very large difference, right? But that's all I got. Go ahead.
Yeah. Mass data collection is required to fully implement the surveillance grid pattern of life, except there will be a regulation, as events, fabricated or not, will be used to justify public safety. I was going to what Julia said. I already have cameras in your house. So this one says, why does the local governments do not have a vision? Instead, stranger danger with money comes into town, and that's because they're focused.
This is scary.
Yeah. 4 top tech executives from Meta, OpenAI, have been sworn in as lieutenant colonels in the U.S. Army Reserves as part of a new incentive called Detachment 201. Wait, is that real?
Yes.
And you gotta fix the
yeah. You gotta fix your face, Brandon. Uma says the issues that you bring up are exactly why people need to go to meetings and also research issues across the country. Flock cameras have been used for at least 5 years, and that I know of, and not for the reasons they're claiming. And then Brandy says, yes, very real. All right.
Wow.
All right. So now we're moving on from all the government surveillance and the terrible things they're doing, and we're going to move to something a little bit. So, Corey, you were in the infantry. I was in the infantry too, back 97 to 2001. Were you even born? Probably not. But I will play this video just for funsies. Here we go.
Now the rack. Greeted it done with an early attack.
This is from the year I went to basic training.
Sergeant rushes me off to chow.
Wait, there's color?
And I don't eat it anyhow. Infantry. Rangers fight for me. Oh, nothing in this world is free.
I hate cardio, but cadence makes it so much more fun, man. Like, I hate cardio. But yeah, cadence is great.
Yeah, it does help. All right, so what skills or lessons from your military service would help you serve effectively in the Georgia State Senate?
So I think you got a couple things, and one, I think the largest gift I have, and it's not all military. I moved a lot growing up. My parents had a business in the economy in 2008, so it's an up and down roller coaster. But different people, different walks of life, being able to communicate with them, right? And the level of trust that you have between them. So, no matter who they are, you like them, you don't like them, you know them, you don't, you're always there looking out for somebody. And I think here's your moment to relate the military to the government, right? If your commander tells you that in 2-3 days, whatever it is, we're going on a 20-mile ruck march, right? Are you going to put your boots on that morning to see if they fit? That's what Georgia does for their policy. So you don't put the data center there or Hyundai there and then figure out if the boots fit before you start walking. I think you need a plan, right? It's right place, right time, right uniform. You got that, Patrick?
Absolutely. You got to have a pen, have something to write on.
Prepare. And then go to another level. What happens? Okay, infantry 101, right? You're out there. You go for training for everything, right? Everything you do is pretty much planned. You know the whole mission before you go. But something goes wrong. What do? First thing, you go right back to the training. Georgia loses that. It happens, and then we throw out all these little temporary band-aids and fixes, and then at some point it just completely blows up. I'm like, oh, well, how do we fix it now? So that's what the military's done. It made me make awesome correlations of we need planning, man.
Well, I think, the one thing I would say, Corey, what irritates me the most is that we don't plan for the future. I think that we've stopped doing that as a country as a whole.
Yeah.
Because we're like, the kids, who cares about them? We care about us.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a whole, generations coming after us we need to set up. If you have a data center in every city in the country, will there be no water to drink left?
And think about this. So if you don't know, Fort Stewart is the largest military installation east of Mississippi. It's one of the largest in the country. We have some of the most military personnel in the state of Georgia. If you look at our representatives right now in this side of Georgia, most of them, they've never served, not even a day in the military, which is also wild because it's such a large amount of the population. So I would want somebody who knows anything about the military and veterans and how that works inside to help draft those policies because it's such a large chunk of the population.
Hey, I got this one over here. Chris said, question, I understand you're a Democrat. Given the current state of both parties, would you ever consider running independent?
So you need to watch my chicken video. That's what you need to do. You should do. It's great. It's great. But let me answer this. So number one, I don't think I need to run as an independent, right? So when it comes to me running as a Democrat, I have democratic values that I feel is the way to go, right? And those things, when you talk about like ideological stuff, when you get like deep in like abortion, like I'm not changing your mind. If that is your religious view and that's what you believe in, that's one of those things that's not like a straight filling a pothole question, right? So those are my reasons. But let me tell you, I don't want anybody voting just because of a letter. No matter what, you absolutely need to look at the person, because look at Jeff Duncan. Jeff Duncan is as a Republican as you can get. And what did he do? He became a Democrat and ran as a Democrat. Like the letter can change. I mean, it's a letter. If you look at the person and if you believe what they're saying, then go with the person. Like if you treat it like a sports game and if it's just R&D and you only vote that way, then you could have the absolute worst thing in either party and you're going to vote for it because that's what you believe. And my favorite saying I tell people is, if you are a Republican and you want a Republican in that office, so you need to either run yourself or find a new Republican, because the one you got ain't working. So something needs to change. So you bet on me and you vote for me, or you find a new Republican. And if you don't do that, then you get the same thing. And if you don't like me, the Democrat, then you vote me, the Democrat, out and find another Republican. Like, I feel like people overcomplicate it and you look so deep into the partisan part that you never can fix the issue.
I think what really has happened is that they oversimplified it. You see what I'm saying? We're oversimplifying the voting as opposed, we're just dumbing it down to R&D. And that's literally what forced me and Brandon to do this show, because my last time I voted, most of the people, I didn't even know who the hell I was voting for.
Yeah.
Right. So this is why he says you got to go to the council meetings. You got to listen to the other people. That's why we have this show, so we can have Corey's on and all the other people come on so they can talk to you and you can make an informed decision. I never want to go to the voting poll again and not know who I'm voting for and why.
Also, you're not going to like me because the Democrat beside my name, at least, can we have coffee? Have a conversation and please get a reason on why you don't like me. Just don't say it because, oh, he's a Democrat. I'm an individual. So in every single person who's a politician, they're all individuals. So please at least look at the individual before you go straight to the party.
Because I can do that all by myself.
Yeah, it's too easy.
Uma said anyone who votes straight ticket probably doesn't know where the candidates stand on issues which they care. So, I mean, that's facts. And Julia said your chicken video is a 10 out of 10. So.
Bro, that chicken video, man.
Well, I mean, and that's what it comes down to, where we get the people that are not supposed to be in office, stay in office. They just consume. And then to get the rest of actually, it comes down to, that's where the money in politics, too, is another thing, because that's driving all of this.
Well, and yeah,
R&D stuff. You know what I'm saying? R&D, we're pitting the people against each other. It's all the money.
You know something interesting? And I think I want to say it's Massachusetts. Typically, it's the legislative body is Democratic and their governor is Republican, right? And the one thing about that system that is kind of beautiful in its own way is that if you think something is too Democratic in your legislative body and it goes to the governor, what's the governor do? Come on, one of you got this. Veto, right? They veto it. And then when they veto it, it goes back. Now you got to get 2/3. So now you're forcing the talk. Now it's bipartisan. So if it's too Democratic, it might not pass, but it works on the other shoe too. So the Republicans are to do something, it's the same way. So it has like a natural built-in checks and balancing. It's interesting. It's nerd out one day and just look into it.
All right. I don't want to get bogged down. We still need to move on. So you are facing Ben Watson, right? Let's play a little video of him for those of you that don't know who he is. Here we go.
Senator Ben Watson, proud to represent Georgia's 1st Senate District, which includes Bryan, Liberty, and half of Chatham County. While advocating for our region, we've also been working on statewide issues, especially those impacting Georgia's most vulnerable children. Foster families deserve proper support and resources to succeed at every stage of life, which is why, in partnership with the Lieutenant Governor, we passed legislation that does just that. Senate Bill 402 will create pilot programs to screen children in foster care for autism. Early detection can make a life-changing difference in a child's home life and social and educational experiences. We also passed Senate Bill 431, legislation that will require school districts to immediately enroll students in foster care. These children already face enough disruption, and this measure helps provide stability when they need it the most. Both bills now move to the House and are one step closer to becoming law. In addition, the Senate adopted Senate Resolution 622 to evaluate how we can strengthen foster care resources and improve outcomes for families across Georgia.
Okay, so you're challenging an experienced incumbent. So what would you do differently, and what is the strongest reason voters in Senate District 1 should choose Corey Foreman?
I do everything differently. Before we even go about choosing me, let's talk about foster care. So foster care in the state of Georgia, just like every other number that has to go back to dealing with residents, we're below average. Okay, so in Georgia, one, the defects, right? The employees that their day-to-day life involves caring for children in foster care. They were, I think it's like an $85 million shortage in funding. And I think the state of Georgia, I think they just finally, once again, after reaction, they've now gave like half of that budget. Once again, if you go back to any of the research, and it's there, like, it's not like you just make this stuff up. Look at Medicaid expansion. How about, instead of just putting policy in place to try to mitigate these tiny little pieces of the big problem, you actually look at the big problem, and number one, how about we stop kids from going to foster care? We could always start there, right? That sounds like a great idea. And you could do that by providing health care. That sounds great. If you look at any state right now, there's no solid number, but if you look at some of the stronger states, or what some of the experts recommend as the stronger states for foster care and its legislation, all of those states have a few things in common. They're near the top for healthcare, education. Like, this isn't rocket science. Like, the data's there, just look at it. With that being said, for anybody who has not seen their state representative or state senator, that was your state senator right now. He's been there for 10 years. If this is the first time you saw him, I would like to tell you that that's good. At least now you know who he is. So moving forward, I would like to start by saying that I hope that everybody knows who I am. I try to make it a point so everybody knows who I am. I go to every single thing I can possibly go to, even though I'm not getting paid at all to go to these things. It's his job. He chose to do it. He ran for office. Stop doing the same thing over and over. One thing, and I'm telling you right now, my goal is for sure to expand Medicaid in the state of Georgia. And if you don't think that's a good idea, then please sit down and let's have a conversation, because I promise, Republican or Democrat, it's in everybody's best interest. And at the end of the day, I think we need to remember the state of Georgia. I've told Patrick this before. We've been #1 in business for 12 consecutive years, okay? You saw in my first video, we're also #1 for incarceration, and I don't think that's something to brag about. All of these data points and all the stats that come along with them, none of them, you're here at the Capitol all the time quoting and preaching that the state of Georgia is #1 for business. But I have not heard one of them say that the state of Georgia is #1 for the residents. And last time I checked, like somebody said about we the people earlier, yeah, we the people. I don't think, and there's a copy somewhere back there of the Constitution. We can break it out, and I'm pretty sure that nowhere in there it says we the corporation. I'm not anti-business, but at the same time, I think at some point, I think we should probably push for the people that live here. Like, #1 in business is great, but I don't care if we're #5 in business, because there's a balancing. The state of Georgia doesn't exist just for corporations and business. So if that's what you want, then why are the people here? But it's going to be a sad day for those businesses, because last time I checked, you can't have the business without the people running them. And the people,
exactly.
Guess what? They're Georgia residents. So that's my soapbox, and I'm going to try to digress from that, because I could keep ranting, because it irritates the living hell out of me. So
who would have thunk it?
Well, we got a good question here. So, and this has to do with money and politics. So here you go, Brandon.
Yeah, and I know there's a couple of people on here that want to know this one. So I've seen so many in Senate and Congress that refuse to answer America first or Israel, the land that is not real, first. Would you take money from AIPAC, or are you against it?
So I would not take money from AIPAC. And look, okay, whatever your religious beliefs are, it's fine. But America first should always be the thing because this is America. So, I didn't serve my country for Israel, I served my country for my country. And humanitarian work is a thing. And I do believe there is a role, and this is going in the federal government on us stepping in to help with humanitarian aid across the world. But at the same time, this is America. And for me, I'm running for a state legislative position. So currently it's Georgia first. So we're gonna leave that there.
We're gonna start with Georgia first.
All right. Hold on. Oh my gosh, there's so many comments, guys. Thank you guys so much for coming out tonight and commenting. I love it. Is there any ones? Hold on, let me see. Let's get this last one, and this is gonna be the last one.
Okay,
and then we're gonna go to the red phone.
Ben Watson appointed a person to the Bryan County Richmond Hill Airport Authority. It is a huge controversy, and I have never seen Ben at a Richmond Hill or Bryan County meeting. Ooh.
We could always take the video of him and like show them like a screen. We can bring it and kind of put him in the chair or something. This goes back to just communication with residents. And mind you, when Richmond Hill went to do the airport authority, they sent this to the state. Ron Stevens is the one that carried the bill. And when that bill hit state legislator, it came through. John Burns, he abstained from the vote for whatever reason. So I'd be curious on why that happened. But this bill went through and it passed, and it's just, a normal, typical day, I mean, there's nothing there to worry the residents or get any input on should we pass this. Like, it's still state legislation. There's no public hearing, there's no communication. I mean, even if you did a Facebook post, it would have been nice, but you're still voting on something just because a person asked you for it. I mean, I don't know. The communication barrier is real. Like, these people represent you, and I understand that not every single decision always gets an answer, but you got something to say, Patrick. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying, with all the ways you can communicate these days, like, it's almost too easy to just put out a 20-second video, 30-second video. Like, I mean, I'm not trying. I know I do a lot of videos, so I mean, that's easy for me to say. But Ben was sitting right there on camera.
Is it
right there? Like,
well, and if you look at that, like, it's the partisan, like, capital videos. Like, I'm the legislator, and this is what we've done. Like, there is no genuine communication. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's man, the one thing about me, I'm a real guy. I'm young. This is not a fancy house. I just finished my degree in economics. Do you know how long that took me? You talk about untraditional, like, between the military and working, I got it done. But I'm not make believe. I'm not from a family of money. I am a real person who came to Georgia with a real means, which was the Army, and here I am. The only reason I'm running is because I believe that the people of Georgia deserve a lot better than what they have, and that's why I'm here.
And that's huge, honestly.
Well, I appreciate you coming on. Now we're going to get Brandon's favorite portion of the program here. So go ahead, Brandon.
Are you ready? It's the rapid fire. I was born ready. Okay, so you know the rules. You got 30 seconds, one word, not two. Don't be a cheater.
Yeah.
One word, first thing that pops in your head. Are you ready?
Probably not.
These are about you, so it should be easy. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Morning person or night owl?
Morning.
Books or podcasts?
Podcast.
Listen first or speak first?
Listen.
Ooh, facts or instinct?
Facts.
The most important quality in a leader?
Listening.
Like, that's a thinker. You have to think on that. Yeah. Listening.
Nice.
Well, I would say,
I could do a list of qualities. Like, I feel like that's a nuanced question, but listening is, at least for
very important. I mean, definitely listening is very important.
That's like,
okay, so,
I feel like that's like kind of the most important is listening.
Well, sometimes you got to tell people to shut up too. That is another thing. Hey, gotcha. I heard you, boss. Now let's do it my way. That's how I used to do it in the Army, but that's all right. Okay.
I'll be like, yeah, Patrick told me to do it.
There you go. There you go. So, Corey, I want to say thank you so much for coming on the show, man, and everybody for chatting in the chat. And I want to ask you, is there anything that you want to discuss that we did not bring up?
I feel like I talked a lot, so I'm gonna.
You did.
But Brandon, okay, put your face on. Put your face on, Brandon. No, this is great, man. I thank you guys for having me and everybody in the chat. I've been so busy today. I only posted it, I don't know, 10, 20 minutes on my own Facebook. So it's not like it was promoted. But this is good participation.
No, I love it. I love it. I think we're growing in participation. Everybody's coming here to get educated, just as so are we. And I want to thank you, Corey, for helping with our education on some of this stuff and helping us understand what makes you, different than Ben. So here's your chance. Corey. We're trying to get Ben on. If you guys know Ben, tell him to come on the show.
Please tell him to come on. And then also tell him at some point he should for sure do a form with me at any point. I'm game. If he wants to do it tomorrow, I'll show up. Next time we need to talk about property taxes, but that's going to take an entire show. So,
okay. All right. Hey, I think there's going to be a lot of people that be interested in that show. So cool. Well, I want to say thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Corey, for coming on. I really appreciate it. And I'll talk to you soon, buddy. Hang out for a second. Okay.
Cool.
All right. Oh man. What a show, right?
I actually felt like I learned something.
Yeah, it's what we're here to do. And once again, I want to thank everybody for coming on the show. Brandy, Julia, Jennifer, Chris. Hello, y'all. Lindsay, Ivy, Bobby Thunder. I love that name. MB, everybody that came in the chat. Uma, it's good to see you again. It's been a while. Brandy, thank you for coming. You missed the part where your video was played, but Brandy, you can rewatch the replay. And of course, thank you guys for coming. If you guys didn't get a chance to go to the rally out there in the Open AI Open House. My data center video is coming out this Saturday. So if you talk to us, you might have a chance to be on this video. So check that out. Also, the luxury video came out where the tree is growing in the house. Weird. And then a bunch of other cool stuff. Which was your favorite house out of those three houses, Brandon? Was it the tree house?
No. Oh my God. Not Jones Street, the other one.
Well, you guys go watch the video. You guys figure out what your favorite one is. And then, of course, if you were in the military like me and Corey, then you should watch the VA loans video we just put out. So if you have any questions about VA loans, we talk about it with a lender here locally. And Brandon, is there anything that I missed that you wanted to say?
Oh, no. Other than, we are literally here to just provide a platform for people to speak, have a conversation, to learn something. We're not pushing sides. We're not pushing nothing. We're just trying to have a great conversation and make the community aware. That's it.
We couldn't have that conversation without you guys. So I really appreciate you guys. Crystal, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. Thank you guys all for coming on, and we'll talk to you guys next week.